Hey guys, this is Tyler with Diesel, and today we're going to tell you guys everything you need to know about the four-wheel drive system in your JL, including how to use it. Let's check it out. Okay guys, before we start, if you're new to Diesel, make sure you check us out. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a moment. We try and go over everything JL EcoDiesel, JL Wrangler, and we like to have some fun with it too. So make sure you subscribe. Alright guys, let's be honest. The center of every Jeep is this great four-wheel drive system. If there wasn't four-wheel drive, none of us would be interested in Jeeps because they couldn't do the cool things that they do, like drive through a foot of snow out here, right? And to be honest with you, one of my favorite aspects about this Jeep four-wheel drive system is that we still have the manual transfer case. Super easy to shift, reliable. But that causes quite a bit of confusion with some new owners because a lot of the vehicles that we have today are either full-time all-wheel drive or you have the button to turn it to four-wheel drive, right? Today I want to go over why this four-wheel drive system is still packed with technology to give you the best experience with your Jeep ever, and just kind of how to use it and some unique aspects about it, because I think it's important to understand that if you want to use your Jeep and you want to off-road with your Jeep. Alright, so the first question you might have about your four-wheel drive system is, when should I use it? And that's a pretty straightforward answer. Whenever you think you should. Jeep didn't put four-wheel drive in these vehicles for you to try and get stuck in two-wheel drive and then get out with four-wheel drive. It's kind of like a preventative thing. If you have a doubt, if you're on a little bit of a dusty snow road, if you're going through snow like this, you don't want to find out it's too late, because you won't know that you should have been in four-wheel drive until you're stuck or on the side or something like that. So whenever you think that you might need to use your four-wheel drive, throw it in four-wheel drive. So one of the other cool aspects about your Jeep is it has a true four-wheel drive system, including a true 4-low. So when they put a transfer case in your Jeep to give you power to both the front and the rear wheels, one of the things they also incorporated in there is 4-low. If you guys are familiar with rock crawling or anything extreme off-road, you're familiar with 4-low. What 4-low does is it takes from your transfer case and actually multiplies the torque applied to the axles 2.72 times to 1 in the case of a regular Jeep, a Sahara, something like that. But with the Rubicon here, we actually have the Rock Track transfer case, which gives us a 4-to-1 transfer case ratio. That gives us a super low crawl ratio. So you do sacrifice top speed, but to be honest with you, when you're out here in the snow and power is at a must, or if you're just trying to idle your way over rocks, 4-low is a must. So one other thing you might be asking is, Diesel, what is the difference between four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive? Why is my Jeep special and better than a Subaru or an Audi with all-wheel drive or Quattro, right? Four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive are not created equally. In this Jeep, there is literally like a light truck axle in the front and the rear. When you put your Jeep in a four-wheel drive, you lock the coupling between those two drive members, right? So your rear axle is going to spin at the same speed as your front axle. In an all-wheel drive scenario, there is no lock between those two, the front and the drive unit, right? That might not make sense to you. Here's the thing that's the difference. If you get stuck in a Subaru or an all-wheel drive, one tire is probably going to spin because there is soft couplings between all your drive members, meaning that the tire that has the least amount of traction is going to spin. When you get in your Jeep, those front and those rear axles are locked together, so two wheels are going to spin, right? So one front and one rear is going to spin. When you get into an all-wheel drive, like maybe a Honda CR-V or something like that, those are really front-wheel drive with rear assist, meaning the rear might only just see 20% of the engine power or something. So when you really need that rear axle to push you over an obstacle or push you through snow, you can't depend on it. It's not going to be there. So one of the other things with the Jeep is four-wheel drive is basically synonymous with poor fuel economy, right? People don't want to get a four-wheel drive. People want a little bit more of an all-wheel drive system because they think it gives them better fuel economy because it's less weight, things like that. That is all but true in 2020, 2021 with the new JL four-wheel drive system. Jeep actually took a page out of the 80s Cherokees and YJs, and they put a disconnecting front axle in the front. That means that when you're not in four-wheel drive, your axle disconnects and nothing but your wheels are spinning. Your drive shaft doesn't spin, your transfer case chain isn't spinning, anything like that. Jeeps are fast, like my TJ that we have a lot in the videos. Even when you're in two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, you still have to get all of that stuff spinning when you want to accelerate down the road. This thing, when you're in two-wheel drive, it's basically acting like there's no front axle in it. It's just the wheels spinning, giving you a lot better fuel economy in the JL. Alright guys, so probably one of the biggest questions a lot of people have about their Jeep is how do I put it into four-wheel drive? Because every single Jeep, whether it's a Sport, Sahara, Rubicon, Mojave, whatever, has this lever. Like I said, a lot of newer vehicles will just have the dial. This lever is kind of interesting because the JLs honestly do not shift that nice. But here's why. So if you want to shift into four-wheel drive, you've got a bunch of different indicators, right? On the left side of your dash, you've got the transfer case selection indicator. Down here, you can just kind of tell where your lever is. And then on your off-road page, you've also got a 2-high indicator, right? So shifting from 2-high to 4-high is pretty easy. What you're going to want to do, you can shift it in neutral when you're not driving, but honestly, the best thing to do is just shift it, get going maybe 5-10 miles an hour, let your foot off the gas, and just grab the lever and shift it into four-wheel drive. See how easy that shifts when you're moving? Whereas the alternative would be, let's say we're just in neutral and we want to shift it. It should still shift, but the difference is if there's any load, see, that doesn't shift nearly as nice, right? I got to kind of work it and get it to pop in. And I think I'm in four-wheel. Doesn't shift nearly as nice, right? So shift it during motion, but not under a load. So you're coasting and your foot's not on the brake, right? So now we're in four-wheel high. Let's say we want to shift it to 4-low because we've got some different off-roading we want to do, right? Shifting in 4-low, you cannot do from 4-high to 4-low under speed because you're actually shifting gears in the transfer case, right? 4-low is just another reduction to give you that extra torque off-road, but you sacrifice the top speed. Your top speed is maybe 25, 40 miles an hour, right? So shifting in 4-low, we're going to want to be stopped, foot off the brake so there's no residual load on the drivetrain, and then you're going to bring it all the way over and down, shift down, and then you'll see an indicator there, you'll see indicator there. You got to make sure that lever is bottomed out because you don't want it to pop out of gear, right? And now we got maximum power. So remember I said earlier in the video, not all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive systems are created equally. So you might ask, why doesn't everyone just do a four-wheel drive like a Jeep? Well, I'll show you. When you're actually locked in four-wheel drive, 4-high, and you want to make a sharp radius turn, watch how the steering wheel is going to fight back with me. And you can feel like this thing just is like fighting me. You get tire chop, you know, the wheels are squeaking. Things like that. So when you make a turn in a vehicle, your front wheels and your rear wheels actually spin at different speeds. Remember, I said earlier in the video, your front axle and your rear axle are tied together as one. They cannot have a different speed between the two. So the Jeep four-wheel drive is honestly terrible with on-road manners, but my rebuttal to that would be you shouldn't be using your Jeep four-wheel drive unless you need it, right? They give you two-wheel drive. Here's the other thing about the four-wheel drive in the Jeep. Do not try and shift it from 2-high to 4-high if you're going, you know, speeds maybe over 25 miles an hour or something. Remember I said you have a disconnecting front-wheel drive system in this, and your drive shaft will go from not spinning to having to spin. So if you try and grab four-wheel drive at 40 miles an hour or something, all of a sudden this drive shaft and everything is going to have to start spinning. There's no clutch or anything in that. There's no soft coupling in that drive line, so this thing's not going to be happy. So make sure, I think the speed in the manual would probably be 15 to 25 miles an hour. Make sure you honor that when you shift from 2-high to 4-high. 4-high to 2-high, no problem. You can drop that at any speed, but be mindful of your speed going from 2-high to 4-high in the JL. Alright guys, that sums it up for today's video. We really just want to take the opportunity with the perfect conditions we had in the snow and show you guys kind of some of the quirks, why your Jeep is different, the four-wheel drive system, and show you why it's superior too, right? I mean, to be honest with you, we did one other video about this thing in the winter. This is, I believe, hands down the best vehicle that you can drive if you have, a lot of snow. It'll truck through over a foot of snow. It's great on roads with the 4-high and everything. This thing's truly amazing, and now you guys know exactly why the Jeep four-wheel drive system differentiates itself from anything else. We don't want any Bronco four-wheel drive system where you got a knob or something like that. Lock your lever in, you're good to go. You can go anywhere. That's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see anything JL, Trailhawk, whatever, and let us know if you have any questions or video ideas in the comments below. We'll talk to you next time.